Welcome back to the seventh grade mustache. On today's episode, we'll be speaking about the Coup de Hill, the siege on Capitol Hill that happened on January 6, 2021. On that day, a large pro-Trump mob straight bum rushed Capitol Hill and had their way with that institution. Now, if you examine all the photos of that incident, you will not find any people of color. I looked closely. I did not see any black people, any Asian people, any Latinos.
There are three or four coming out now saying they were there. There's one of them in the hall.
What are they? What are they?
Black males. I didn't see any black women. Now, this one brother, when you see him walking around, it's like I think he just got swept up in the action. I think he was just there. I don't think he was there for the same reason. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of these situations.
Hold on, wait a minute. How does he look? What type of brother does he look like?
He's wearing a red cap, turned back, backpack, like a vest or something, just walking around chilling.
Okay. like you already described a dude that can't catch a football, can't throw a football, can't ball at all.
It's like he was just there.
He was never picked on the basketball court.
Me.
He wasn't fucking in high school. Probably didn't fuck until almost the end of college. That type of cat.
By accident.
Yes.
I'm trying to laugh. You know the type. Look, here's my question. What did they hope to accomplish? And how many of you, and here's where it's getting super complicated. When you talk to your boys from DC, talk to your boys from the Maryland, Virginia area, and they're telling you that these cops are reporting that there were cops in the mob.
That's right.
Me and you had talked about that. We're finding out now that they even had lawmakers in the mob from other states. Like,
pump your brakes real quick. The media does not want to call this a coup for several reasons, because they realize it is a huge black eye on the image of the United States. But in fact, it was a coup simply because the National Guard was prohibited from immediately going down there and quelling this. There are people in the military, generals, that are pro-Trump. This is not a secret. Many people know this, that the military has lots of Trump supporters because Trump was always, because Trump was always pro-military. I'm talking about the brass. I'm talking about people on the, the people on the Joint Chiefs of Staff, where it matters. So in a situation like that, what happened was the Capitol Police realized that they were outmanned and outnumbered, and they needed help. So they put a call in to get the National Guard there, and they were told that they couldn't bring the National Guard down there. It had been denied. Yep. Who is the person denying this? Now listen, you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, how the chain of command works. The highest rank officer in the United States military is the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. So it had to go by him. He had to give the yay or nay to send them down there. So, which means that most likely he was in on this. Which means that anytime a coup happens, you have to have armed personnel or military support, which is exactly what this is when you look at the details. So, one other thing. In that mob, as Duct Tape just said, were off-duty police, local and Capitol Hill police, and off-duty, active-duty military service members.
Military, yes.
That is a coup.
No, okay, the point I was trying to make, I don't think it went as high as the Joint Chiefs of Staff, but you got the governor of Maryland even said that when he requested the National Guard, they said no for right now. What I think the whole impression people got was that they were going to go down there and do the typical Trump supporter shit, have a couple guns, talk a little shit, and go on about their business. They never expect nobody to get hurt. They didn't expect it to go as far as it did.
Who is they? Now, who is they? Who are you talking about? They?
When I say they, the fact that okay, here's how this stuff works when it comes to the white privilege. We always love to use that word. So when the cops see somebody they recognize, they're less likely to arrest that motherfucker, right? So you can't tell me these cops weren't talking to their homeboys and had a heads up about this shit. You can't tell me these military motherfuckers wasn't talking shit. Like, hey man, I'm going down to the Capitol. They knew days in advance there was going to be a gathering. When I say they, I mean government. I mean police. I mean the local city government. I mean even the national government. Everybody expected that. Did they expect people to get killed? And then they added another person because one cop committed suicide. And I'm like, so they had, the death toll is 5.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Now,
Hold on. Park that for a second. What cop committed suicide?
today, some cop, I saw it on the news feed. I was reading it. It didn't interest me because I'm like, okay, that's
Oh,
his fault.
oh, wait. Was he a Capitol Hill cop?
Yeah, it was some local.
Okay.
It was a DC cop.
Because he knew that he was gonna like face the pressure of from what happened because he was culpable, he was involved, and
Yeah, yep.
once they squeezed him, he was gonna squeal. So, dude, that right
You
there.
can't tell me they
If you
didn't
if you
recognize each
if
other.
you
They
commit
knew.
suicide, if you commit suicide after this hot button event like this, you pretty much just showing your hand.
Okay, here's another thing that's on my mind about this situation. You got people all over Facebook saying there's 3 things that's being said, but the one thing that I wanted to talk about was when I try to explain to black people this is a white people's argument. Stay out of it. And people say that I was called misogynistic. I was called uninformed. I'm like, okay. Some girl said the Capitol hasn't been breached since 1800. I said, well, what about 1977, the Weather Underground? Now, so I try to tell her. So I look it up on Wikipedia. Then some chick tells me, well, Wikipedia can be updated by a 3rd grader. I said, touche, you're right. But I said, if your 3rd grader is talking about the Weather Underground, he or she's a genius. You should be proud.
Well,
So,
hold on. But also, you don't have to go to Wikipedia to go and look that up because that's in
no,
history books, lady.
yes, I went to the FBI website and looked up the Weather Underground, which was founded by Bill Ayers. Now, here's the point I was trying to make is that you guys keep talking about white privilege. Bill Ayers was the head of the Weather Underground. Him and this lady, they started, and they blew up the Capitol. They set the Capitol building on fire, blew up police stations, all this stuff, killed a couple people. Now, when shit hit the fan, only one of those white people went to jail. Bill Ayers got pardoned. I think he got pardoned by Bill Clinton, but I don't want to. But people say he got pardoned by Barack. I don't think so. I
No,
think he got
it was
pardoned.
Bill Clinton.
Yeah, but the reason that's so important is because this guy is a terrorist and he got pardoned by the president. Now he's way high up. He is a communist. But the point being, here's my point: that when black folks do civil unrest, which is the point that everybody's trying to make, we still got Black Panthers in jail. How come Barack ain't released some of them? We got one in Nebraska been in jail 50 years. The other brother died. Angela Davis came to his funeral. So we still got Black Panthers in jail, but you got white terrorists that were pardoned. And that's the whole problem with this situation. When all this is said and done, a lot of them folks who did this civil unrest will get a pardon because of who they know or who they are. That's my fear. See, that's real white privilege.
But stop. Let me stop you. But what you saw on January 6th on Capitol Hill was not white privilege. That was redneck privilege. Because
see,
because
white people told me it was a hillbilly rally. I got white friends that, hey man, you said that.
dude, I mean, listen, man. Decent white people look at that and be like, you know what? This is trash. These people are trash. And what it is those people are the ones that are funded by an invisible hand. I mean, I'm going to put it out there. People want to think that this is some type of organic movement, that this just happened on a humbug. No, boys and girls. Those people they took time off of work. Can you afford to take time off of work to go down there? Thousands of people. That shit costs money. All right. Now, but you got to understand, anytime that there's like major protests and from major movements, there's always ads running the paper. And what did we see this past summer? These Craigslist ads asking to hire people to go and protest. So here's the thing. Follow the money. Who is paying for these people to leave their jobs and their homes and their families to go and protest? Thousands of miles. Now, no, wait, stop. Hold on. Now, the layperson would say, oh, well, they use their own money. Don't be foolish, as my pops used to say. These people are funded. White people got their shit together. All right, these people
Yes,
are
yes.
not.
They
They're
print their
not.
money.
They're
Yeah.
not just jumping up on a humbug and going, "Come on, Jed, we're gonna go down there and show them what really going on." No, that's not what happened here. Because George Soros is a guy that likes to hedge his bets, and he puts money on both sides of the argument. He funds the Proud Boys and Black Lives Matter. A lot of people
And
think
Antifa. Antifa. Don't forget
and
Antifa.
Antifa. So when you see these major protests and like clashes going on, there's money in the game. There's powerful people who have skin in that game, and this is a local proxy war. The same way Syria and the U.S. was like going at it months and years ago, but it was actually being controlled by China and Russia and the United States. This is a proxy war where you have somebody fight on behalf of you. That's all this is. This is professional wrestling. Okay? This is
It's
major.
opera.
This is opera. This is theater. This is public theater. Those motherfuckers you saw down there were performance artists. Everybody gets so hold on. Everybody gets so caught up in the superficial quality of these things, but you got to dig deep underneath that and realize that this is just opera. It's just theater. It's professional wrestling. It's not real. Go ahead, man.
Look. Okay, here's what Roscoe's trying to tell you. There are people who did just jump in the truck and go. There are people like that. There are people that left work, had badges on.
But I'm talking about the motherfuckers that are steering the herd, though. I'm talking
Yes,
about
no,
the
no.
people that are
I
organizing
knew
it.
what you meant. Yeah. I knew what you meant. But what I'm saying, don't think there weren't civilians in there. Don't think the reason them cops didn't shoot is because they recognized a homeboy, a homegirl across the way. Look, I saw the video of that white lady getting shot. If you ask me right now who shot her, I can't tell you. And I'm trying to tell people, like, I'm telling people, I saw the video. One of my boys from there sent me a camera video. He's like, "Hey, Ray, you need to see this." And I'm like, it didn't go down the way they described on the news. And I'm trying to tell people that shot did not come from. Look. When my partner Roscoe was telling you that it's opera, that there's people in there that's agitators, and we talked about this in other podcasts. There's agitators in there. We're not saying there's not real people mixed in. We're not saying that somebody didn't agree with the movement. We're saying that you actually had legislative officials from other districts come all the way from Missouri. Or is it St. Paul, where Minnesota, or something like that? They want this guy off his seat. He's like a congressman or something from there. He was part of that. I like I said, I think people thought this was a joke, and they get there and it's not. And then you got somebody shooting and acting a fool. Look, but here's my problem.
Okay, let me stop you for a second. There is an aircraft carrier parked in the fucking bay. Do you understand? There is so much military might around there.
That's where I was.
That can turn that shit off like a water hose, like a fucking faucet. It can turn it off in minutes. But listen, people. Oh no! I'm about to go in on this bullshit. People, y'all don't.
Go back to 96.
Wait. People don't understand. If you never been to Washington D.C., how much tactical power there is surrounding that place. That is the government nerve center of the most powerful military on the planet. Full spectrum dominance, as Rumsfeld used to say. So therefore, you got satellites. You have strike jets that can take off in minutes and blow up anything around there. You got
snipers on top of the building standing there waiting for some shit to pop
off. You have armored drones flying around there. They don't talk about that now. You have all types of weapons that can take shit out, and all they were doing was watching. You got to understand, like, how many Marines were livid watching this shit on the Armed Forces Network, knowing that they weren't allowed to go down there and do something. Okay? You had good men and women who were watching this shit who wanted to go down there and crack some fucking skulls. Is it that easy? Is it really that easy to go in there and take shit over? Because it's not. The reason why I'm illustrating this point is because I want people to understand that this was allowed to happen. See, okay, for the longest time, China and Russia have been agitating both sides of the American elections for the past 12 years. They've been creating fake accounts on Facebook and social Twitter, media. On yes. All the media, the social media platforms. They've been creating this dissension. Because if you want to break down a country, without firing a bullet, you have them break down from the inside through infighting, through civil war. People are so focused on LGBTQ, letter people, Zimzer, all this nonsense.
Yes.
And it's done on purpose. It's distraction. It's distraction to weaken everybody. Go ahead, man.
Okay, there's several things I want to bring up. First things first. Talk to any of your family members that have been to DC. One of my cousins was talking to me the other day about. He said, "Man, I tried to climb on the fence to take a picture of the White House. Dude zipped on me right away. Said, 'Hey, sir, can you please get down?' There's no way to get close to that stuff without somebody talking to you. We talked about this. You know, I didn't. I'm telling you, when 95, 96, I did not go to the Million Man March. I could have went, but everybody knows during the Million Man March. Talk to your homeboys that went. If you and your homegirls went, but most of the homeboys, they'll tell you there were snipers in plain sight
in the
on top of the
monuments,
building.
in all the monuments, hidden behind trees, behind pillars.
Like you can see, they weren't that hidden. They were hidden.
There are snipers all the time. It's their job to be there all the time. They could have just like started making dome calls, just taking motherfuckers out. But guess what? They were told to stand down.
Also, many of these patriots are patriots. They do not want to shoot Americans. That's another part, but we'll discuss that later. Look, here's the point we're making, that when we say this was allowed to happen, we're not saying the fix is all the way in, but the fix is in enough. Was this when was Trump trying to jerk off on the way out the White House? He thought this would be just funny, or this shit got out of hand too quick, and you cannot get close to the White House. Now, here's the other thing that we're seeing all over Facebook that drives me crazy. Because black people are too scared to actually stand up anyway. All these black people are like, okay, if that had been Black Lives Matter, y'all would have went crazy, y'all would have killed them, blah 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 blah. A couple things I get upset about when it comes to this whole Black Lives Matter thing. First things first, black people don't have the balls to go down there with guns. But when black people did in '67, when the Panthers went to Sacramento? What's the capital of California? Sacramento, and went to the Capitol with guns. None of them got shot, because when you show up with guns, that means you mean business. So the whole thing, if it had been Black Lives Matter, I'm not a big Black Lives Matter fan of the organization, no, but of the movement, yes. If black people had got together and went down there, knocked on the door, they would have listened to us. But the fact is this: we're so scared. Why are you even protesting without a gun? The reason we have the right to bear arms is to protest with a gun. That's to protect you from they won't let you say what you want. You know, you need the First Amendment, Second Amendment, blah, 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 all this other shit. That's what the Second Amendment's for, to protect you. So the point being is this: if y'all had, how do you know they would? You didn't show up. You ain't got the balls to show up and do something about it. So when these white folks get a hair up their ass, that's the other part I brought up about them bombing the Capitol building. This is a white argument, but black folks like to get involved because you want to be heard. Stay the hell out. I do agree with you that there's police brutality. I do agree with you that we're not allowed to protest peacefully. But why the fuck do you have a peaceful protest? Because if this shit is truly as bad as you say, you need to be rebelling. Fuck a peaceful protest. You got to fight to free yourself. Freedom is cost. So I don't think they're just going to give it to you, especially the motherfucker who's benefiting from you being subservient. But I digress. What we're really trying to say is that the fix was in. There's no way these people could have got close to that motherfucker without permission. Without somebody knowing something. These people recognize each other. They recognize their coworkers. People will recognize their coworkers, right? What did this motherfucker with those zip ties expect to do? See, some of these motherfuckers was in there to cause real shit.
Okay. Hold on. Wait. You brought up a very good point right there. That guy with the zip ties, he had an agenda. He listen, yes. He didn't bring those zip ties. He did not bring those zip ties to make loop-de-loop necklaces. Okay? He came in there to capture politicians. That guy was most likely a cop or somebody with military training. All right,
security worker.
But the only problem was he was late to the party, and but he got there far too late to do any damage. That's what you got to consider. I implore everybody to go and look closely at all the photographs that you can find of the inside of the incident, because you'll see a lot of interesting things. You'll see the guy that's sitting in the speaker's chair. You'll see the guy with the zip ties jumping over the rail. You'll see the Secret Service men with the guns pointed at the door of the people trying to get in. You'll see all these things, but you do not see any other law enforcement inside that room. So I'm asking myself, and I'm like, all right, well, Okay, one other thing I wanted to bring up. It was the black dude. He was the black Capitol Hill cop, and he
Basically out the window.
no. He was the guy that kept running up the stairs. He was running up the stairs, and he had the mob behind him. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on a second. These dudes are chasing you up the stairs. You have the higher ground. You have the higher ground. Turn around, take out your service pistol, and start firing at legs. Start maiming these people. Man, I got to tell you this, man. Like, I just got to say this. So I was talking with somebody about this situation, and I'm like, we're looking at this like, what do you do in a situation like that? My barber's a funny dude. He's like, you know what I'll do, man? I would take one of those expandable batons, and I would go in behind the mob, and I would just start making a straight line, just jabbing motherfuckers in the no. I see that was what I said. The back of legs. I was like, he said, no, you crack them in the ribs as hard as you can. Just stab them motherfuckers in the ribs. 1, 2, 3, keep going. 1, 2, 3, keep going. He's like, you would see this line of people just falling.
Disabled.
As you going straight forward. I was like, that's fucking brilliant. But see, this is the thing though, because in a situation like that, if you are defending your ground, it's your duty to defend that piece of real estate. So yes, your tactical training has to come in at some point. All those men panicked. I did not see.
I don't know about that. I think some of them were more worried about hurting civilians. Okay.
Stop. Let me finish. What I saw, it was the line progressively going back and back and back. I did not see those men in uniform gain any ground at all. It kept collapsing. The line kept collapsing and collapsing. So you're saying that they were worried about hurting? No, there were cops that they recognized on the other side of those see-through plastic shields that they didn't want to hurt. That's what that was. Yeah. But motherfucker, hold it. Once you on the other side of that shield, bitch, you breaking the law. So yeah, you about to catch the brunt of all my aggression because you were breaking the fucking law. But the problem is that if you are told that this is going to be two-hand touch and not tackle, then that's what's going to happen.
Yes.
They were playing two-hand touch football. This was flag football. Straight up.
And then somebody was playing linebacker, knocking motherfuckers over for real. That's what happened. One side was prepared for
two-hand touch,
some Tea Party shit.
Yep.
So some two-hand touch, and then somebody else like tackled a motherfucker for real. So hold on. Well, first things first. Everybody is mad about violence. Violence is part of life. So if you really care about something, you're going to fight for it. We just had Black Lives Matter protesters, rioting, fucking up cities. I agree with some of that. The reason I agree with it is because people weren't paying attention. People did not give a damn until they saw a video that made them sick to their stomach. They did not care, and so that's why I seen peaceful protests. This might have been a peaceful protest. Wait, hold
on, bruh. We've covered this before on shows in the past, but a lot of that anarchy was started by agent provocateurs.
Yes.
Don't forget that.
Point. Yeah. And so my point being is that you got all these brothers and sisters saying Black Lives Matter, this, and this. They wouldn't be able to do this. I'm like, first things first. Stop going out there without a weapon.
No.
Don't want to be
the second thing next after that first things first is stop saying Black Lives Matter. Stop repeating that. If you black, come up with your own fucking slogan because your frustrations and your desires are being vacuum cleaned up by this monolith that was created by some lesbian Marxists that want to destroy the black family and a Nazi that's paying for all of it. So stop saying Black Lives Matter. Stop saying that shit. We have too many other movements in the black community to be worried about Black Lives Matter and supporting something that does not support you. So there's that. So stop with that shit.
When my brother says they don't support you, is this? They got all this money. What are they doing with it?
Hold on. But why they get quiet as fuck though? As like right as the elections were going down, there were no more protests. There were no more riots. There was no more shit getting torn up. They were just quiet and content. You know why? Because they master told them to heal. That's why. Y'all see, y'all, hold on. Y'all think this shit just goes on organically? Listen. There is a DJ on a fader who's cutting and scratching and blending the mix together. They're controlling these Black Lives Matter idiots the same fucking way. Y'all don't understand. These people do not represent us. They don't represent you.
Look, here's the issue. How come the media is okay with the riots that were done by Black Lives Matter, but they're not okay with this on the Capitol Hill? It's the same media. It's both violence.
Because
it's
that's
both
the
going against the
chosen
government.
narrative.
Yes, each media organization has their narrative they want out there. So Fox News is embarrassed about this, but the CNBC is eating it up. So you got to understand that when the media is playing us against the middle, they're playing us against each other, and they don't care how many of us die, long as the right people win. That's when you know the hustle is in. You got to recognize this. Like I told you, one of my homeboys told me I was visiting DC back in God, I was in college, so 94. I'm visiting DC, and he's showing me all these different sites. He said, "Hey, down that road," he said, "Hey, duct tape. Down that road is the FBI headquarters." I said, "Hey, how come ain't no sign?" He said, "Ain't no sign because," he said, "one time these terrorists showed up in a van, kind of like Back to the Future, and they went there and they tried to blow up the building. I said, "For real?" I said, "What happened?" He said, "They got killed before. They got killed in the parking lot." He said it didn't make the news because it was handled. They got killed, got shot up. I guarantee they didn't give him a funeral that they gave like they gave Bin Laden. There wasn't enough of them left. So you got to understand that there is an aspect of DC that's militarized, that's designed to protect those people in power, those people who are the decision makers. So for these people to get as close as they did is because it was on purpose.
Okay, duct tape. Pause that part right there for a second. Go back to July. Do you remember when the people were protesting outside the White House? Do you remember the sound weapons that they were being used on them?
Yeah, to make them back up.
Where were these non-violent weapons on January the 6th?
Like I said, this was designed to happen, so Trump has to go. And even Pence, what did Trump say about Pence? When this thing is over, we're not going to be friends.
Oh, he said that shit?
Who says that? Yeah, look
okay.
He said this.
See, now, but Pence was the one who gave the okay to call the National Guard, actually.
Guard, yep, yes, he is. So that tells you either it got out of control, whatever happened, but Trump is all he is a kid throwing a tantrum. And the thing is, that kind of energy disseminates among his followers who are kids throwing tantrums. That's why they were out there. But the fact is, they should not have got as close as they did. So the fact that they got that close means they were allowed to get that close. Did he want to really do a real coup? I don't know the answer to that. I can't. I'm not in that man's mind. I'm not that immature or stupid.
No. Here's the thing. Okay. For those of you who've ever been involved in street life, whenever you go to do some dirt, you got a group of people with you, mostly, unless you a lone wolf that does dirt on their own. But if you go to do some dirt, you got a group of people, and you got the trillest to the least trill among you. The trillest cat ain't gonna be talking. He's gonna have his instructions. He's gonna be ready to boogie and get down. The least trill that's doing all that high capping is the one that's not really about it. He's not about that life. He just wants the prestige of being around some killers. So when you go to hit the lick, he's actually going to be the one doing the least, while the trillest one is doing the most, in the most effective way. I mean, not, clowning. But anyway, my point is that, like, Trump is that guy that is the least trillest. He wants the prestige. So what he wanted to do is make a statement. That's why I keep repeating that this is WWE. This is wrestling. He wanted to make this grand statement as he was going out so that he would be remembered in the history books. It wasn't enough for him to do all this stuff that he did already. But, going and holding up the Bible and moving the protesters out the way so he could hold up a Bible and take a picture and look like Hitler. No, that wasn't enough. Upside down.
That was upside down.
Well, that's symbolic. That's symbolic. Pay attention. That's symbolism. All those Baphomet heads out there. So what he was doing is he was creating a grand gesture. He didn't really want to follow through with the whole thing, but he used his military sway to get it done. because that's why he told his people to go home. Because if he was really going to go all the way in, he would have showed up later with armed guards and walked right into the Senate. Because listen, it's very rare the president goes and shows up at Capitol Hill. You don't see him that much at Capitol Hill. So that would have been hugely symbolic. But Trump didn't have the balls to do that. He just wanted the imagery. He wanted the melee. He wanted the chaos.
Hey, Roscoe, you said some deep shit. You said some deep shit earlier. Where were the Proud Boys at? Because this was not a mob of the Proud Boys. These were just, like you said, hillbillies. These were either hillbillies or people that wanted to be part of it. Where were your Proud Boys? Mm-hmm. Because you didn't see the Proud Boy signs. You didn't see the Proud Boy. I'm sure there was a couple in there, but this was not a Proud Boy.
But as far as like that high visibility you're talking about, you normally see.
Yep.
Yeah, that wasn't there, or at least not in the photographs. You don't see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it. So look. What we're saying is that America is playing each other against each other, and we got to recognize that all these people in the Senate and the Congress, they're all millionaires, and we're all paying for their pension, both sides. So that should tell you right there that the fix is in. This is not real fighting. This is slap boxing. This ain't a real fight. And you got to understand that the outcome does matter, though, and so. By doing this, it makes you vote for one person or the other more. Like, hey, we got to really get together. We got to get this guy in there. We got to get this guy out, get this guy in. Look, they're both rich. They both have done crazy stuff. Ain't nobody representing the people. Listen to the Trump, the smart Trump supporters. They're really like they're saying things like he was supposed to drain the swamp, but he didn't. We're so disappointed in what in his term. I'm like, yeah. All he cared about was setting himself up for when it was over. He did away with all kinds of.
But here's the thing, though. Are you really surprised that this happened? You shouldn't be, because this is what you get when you put trash in there. Everything he's touched turned to trash. From the beginning
stands for is garbage
to the end, it's all been trash. So this trashy ass. Carnival working ass of a president, carnival worker of a president with his old funnel cake and shitty, concession stand breath. This motherfucker is trash, man. He's been trash from day one, and he went out in a trashy way. He has no class. Dude, he got hella money, but he has no class whatsoever. He's petty.
Here's the deal that you got to worry about is right now, here's a big thing, and so many of the people on the Black Lives Matter side, so many of these brothers and sisters are hooping and hollering over the wrong shit.
Yeah.
Now, first things first.
Speak on that.
People are talking about he got banned from social media. He's not allowed on this platform or that platform. I'm like, man, that's a bad thing. Censorship is always bad because of where it goes. Now, if he's a jackass, then don't listen to the jackass. Mm-hmm. But to censor him on that. People are like, see, social media has spoken. They've showed that.
No,
they showed nothing.
You are supporting tyranny when you speak like that, yes. And you don't even realize that. You have Stockholm syndrome when you are speaking that way.
Look, a lot of brothers and sisters have that battered woman syndrome too, because I got people arguing with me over this situation. I'm like, okay, cool. All I'm simply saying is that censorship should never be the goal. And if they did that, if they did it to him, they could do it to you, and they can do it to whatever movement they want by allowing certain messages out and keeping certain messages in. Now, they're already talking about Trump starting his own social media. That's crazy because that shows.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. There's talk about
he's a jackass.
But there's a talk about the Black Lives Matter movement starting their own news network also, which would be equally as bad, because that is not a real black movement. It's the same as Trump starting his own news organization.
Same thing with BET. It's not run by black folks. It's owned by Viacom. Like I said,
no, but hold on. That's not really a good example, because BET was legit back in the day. Before it was bought by Viacom, BET used to be the shit. So just watch yourself on that one.
BET had street cred, but Viacom bought it for the street cred, so they can get those viewers. The point we're making is that you can name it whatever you want. You can name whatever movement whatever you want, but who's truly at the center of the movement and the heart of the movement? If it's not about the people that it supposedly represents, then you need to be aware of that. You need to be wary of that. We're talking about these different organizations. We're talking about people going to the White House acting a fool, but it's been done before. So you got to understand, like what I was saying earlier. Black folks, they're using you for your numerical majority to push an agenda that does not benefit you. So when I'm saying these are white folks arguing, let the white folks argue. You stand back. And I get what everybody's saying about if that had been this, they would have shot us. That's cool, but I keep trying to tell y'all, stop going to these damn meetings without a gun. Why do you think Martin Luther King has a holiday, but Malcolm X don't have a holiday? Because they want you to do that nonviolent shit. They want you to march out there like chickens. That's why this is the way it is. But if you pay attention to any other movement, they tell you to fight, physically fight if you have to. But all of our movements, look at Haiti, look at the Civil War, look at all these other fights, you had to use a gun. You had to fight. So stop thinking that somebody's going to fight for you. Stop wanting this silent coup that's going to take place. Now, here's the thing. We're always warning you about China. We're always warning you about these other organizations. Like the same way that Russia was in this election, the same way we were in their election. Be careful. America has done a lot of fucked up shit on behalf of other people, and not its people itself, but of its government. And that's where the separation should never lie. We've always been a government for the people of the people. That's not happening no more. So this little thing, this should actually inspire y'all. Get up off your ass and go fight a fight.
Okay.
If you really think this government is oppressive, unoppress yourself.
Okay. So I want to speak further to the point that I made earlier about divisiveness. Divisiveness creates weakness. If you go back to September 11th and you remember the way that everybody behaved days after the coordinated fake attack on America, there was solidarity amongst all Americans. Pretty much. Like there was like everybody was like, you know what, this is some bullshit. Like we're not gonna have that. Blah 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 blah.
We're going after them towel heads. You understand?
Right.
Towel heads.
Hey, black people, white people, Latin people, they were all united. And then you had 20 years later the coronavirus come along, and the coronavirus happens, and it's the exact opposite. Instead, this is a medical 9/11, and everybody is at odds with each other, paranoid as shit, and afraid of each other. And that was by design. Wait, whoa. Hey, hold on. Lay back. Kick back, dude. I got to make a point here. And everybody is at odds with each other. And that was the desired goal, to divide us from a disease that was created in a lab in China, who is the only other superpower in the world. Russia's not a superpower anymore. But so this is a problem. And so now you have more divisiveness and tampering with our elections, with the American elections. Okay? And so now you have all this division. When people started talking about civil war, another civil war, people did not think about the long game, because you better know that as soon as something like that jumps off, the enemies of the United States will attack. And that is when the country is at its weakest. Now, for you true revolutionary motherfuckers out there who think, well, fuck it, I don't give a fuck, you need to, because that's when you're going to have foreign soldiers on your block that you fighting against. So America's already a motherfucker to black people, okay? For those of you who've never dealt with foreigners who are assholes, let me tell you, they don't give a shit about your black ass. They will come down and kick your front door in and kill everybody that's a problem and make you a slave again. So therefore, what I'm speaking to, is this divisiveness. Is that everybody who wants to split hairs about all this ridiculous bullshit, how about you stop? How about you stop and think for a minute and realize that your little pussy ass fuckboy concerns are not part of the bigger picture. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. What matters is what's good for black people. What's good for black people is good for white America. You understand? Because as long as black people receive justice and fair treatment, and I'm going to go ahead and say reparations too, that's good for white America. Because then you got You got happy black people. But if you keep fucking black people over, people will rise up. Listen, there won't be enough house Negroes to prevent people from rising up. There won't be enough black people that love white people to death to prevent black people from rising up. This is the bigger problem. It's not about special bathrooms for trannies. That shit is not important. It's not about your pronoun that you want to have in your special little group and your rainbow flag. That shit is not an issue. It's not important enough. All this shit is dividing everybody. And you have to realize that you are being played. The fact that you are being allowed to speak on that and promote this shit all over the place is by design. It's by design, and you're being played. We are so focused on the thought of the week. Not thought, but thought. Thot. Okay, this Instagram nonsense. You trying to get this dopamine fix all day from staring at your screen. Pull up your phone and go into the settings and go into the diagnostic and see how much time you spend staring at that fucking screen. The point I'm making is that you are distracted from the real issues. You are distracted from the fact that there is a group masquerading as a true black cause when they're not. If you go and you visit their mission statement on their website, you will see in plain bold print, they want the elimination of the nuclear family. The nuclear family is mother, father, and children. Black people have already been fucked over by this country and destroyed by crack cocaine. So you try to tell me after all that shit, you want to just eliminate what's left? Nigga, fuck you. You have no designs on trying to help us. And these people are so Manchurian candidated, so MK Ultra, that they don't realize, I'm talking about the people inside the organization, that don't realize that they are pawns, that they are puppets, that are being controlled by some wicked ass Jim Henson type dude.
Look, when we tell you that it's an inside job, don't think that people really don't die. Don't think that 9/11 didn't have to happen.
The disposable, the people that can die, the disposable ones, they're the ones that die. Okay, the people on airplanes on 9/11 died. The soldiers in Iraq, they fucking died. The niggas in the street who get their skulls smashed by cops, they die. Okay, those are expendable people. And you got to realize that you are expendable in somebody else's game. Go ahead, man. I ain't mean to step on that.
No. The bottom line, like when they talk about COVID and these numbers, and now we're scared. What my brother was trying to explain to you is that one kind of scared brought us together. 9/11 brought us together. This kind of scared is separating us. So now all of a sudden we're all these individuals with individual goals that every once in a while we'll unite for one thing, but then we run right back to the house. Like and get right back on Twitter and Facebook and say, see, nigga, see what I did? See? You want to be celebrities. You're more worried about your celebrity than your actual well-being. And the fact of the matter is this, we've talked about this stuff. We talked about, hey, man, make yourself stronger. Hey, man, take these vitamins. Hey, man, get some sunlight. If most of these people who are dying from COVID are dying from vitamin D deficiency, where's the one place you don't need to be? Is inside. You need to be outside getting sunlight. Now, I get it. It's the wintertime. It's hard to do, blah, blah, blah. But what I'm saying is don't be so damn literal. Recognize that when we say that these things, the fix is in, we're not saying people ain't dying. People will always kill somebody to make something look good. There's always a martyr involved. Most of these movements are started by martyrs. And so when somebody dies, the question is, which way are we turning? Are we turning the right way? Or are we being turned and pushed in a certain direction? And that's what's happening. We're being pushed in a certain direction. And the fact of the matter is that we're telling you that when people go to Washington, they usually go there with a real agenda. These motherfuckers went there to party and kick it and act a fool. They didn't. I don't think they had a real agenda. But the fact is that they got as close as they did. That tells you they were allowed to get there. They should have been killed or popped off. As soon as they got in town, they should have known, like, hey, there's a new sheriff in town and you can't fuck around and do this shit. That didn't happen. Any other time that you're made aware of the power. I get it. Like, black people are treated wrong. Black people are killed at an alarming rate. That should not happen. But black people got to fight for black people. Stop asking for socialism. Stop asking for Marxism. Stop asking, because in all those types of government, you cannot own property. And then all these brothers are telling me stuff like, "Hey, it's about the people." Under all these regimes, the people were not in charge. And you got to watch out for what you ask for. I get it, America's fucked up, but what's going to come in the void? That's what this is what Roscoe was trying to tell you, that when you invite in another country, when you invite in these other people, it may be worse, or they're going to tell you that they're selling you a bill of goods, but it's just that they're telling you that, hey, I'll take care of you, I'll treat you better than America did. You see how they are? They don't care about black people. Well, these other organizations and other things don't care about black people either. So what I'm saying is, if you want America to treat you right, then take part in this shit. If we need to take over a portion of America for ourselves, that's what makes this place. There's 50-something states. Let's go buy one state and let's make it ours, and your other motherfuckers stay the fuck out. You can do that here. You know, you hear one of my homeboys was talking about, I guess the TV show Yellowstone is up in Montana. Up in them states up north, you can just pretty much do what you want. There ain't no cops. Don't nobody show up. Somebody on your property, you can shoot them. Why don't a bunch of black folks go buy some land up there, make that your own shit? You can do that here. You know, we're not about solutions. We're about feeling bad and pushing a narrative. Fuck pushing a narrative. We need to push the motherfucking reality. And that's what's crazy about this shit. This, my brother's telling you, these motherfuckers is not a real fight. Because if it was, a lot more people would be dead.
Yeah, absolutely. There'd be blood everywhere. But this is just drama. This is high drama, and it's fake. It's not real. It's meant to get a
It's about
rise out of
ratings.
you. It's
It's
about
about
ratings.
ratings. It's more about
Yeah.
ratings. Yes.
But I mean, are you really surprised though? Are you really surprised that a reality TV show star would go out like
Star.
this? You know, like this is his thing. This is his MO. He's doing all this on purpose. And then then you have this symbolic, angst coming from Nancy Pelosi talking about we should enact the 25th Amendment and have him impeached again. And to do what? Arrest him. Take him into custody. All this symbolic shit doesn't do anything. It just makes you look good. Her, I'm talking about. It makes Nancy Pelosi look
Yeah.
good. It does
Makes it
nothing
look
at
like
all.
she had power. Like she has
Right.
power and she doesn't.
But meanwhile, she's a hypocrite who's tied to Gavin Newsom. She was at a hair salon, beauty salon, getting her hair done in a state where all beauty salons were shut down. Her former son-in-law, Gavin Newsom, went to restaurants in California and sat openly with other people inside, not outdoors, and had dinner with his mask off.
No mask.
Yeah. This straight free balling the whole time. These hypocrites. These are the people that you listen to. And when I see these black folks on social media just totally buying into this narrative, man, like it is so annoying. It's irritating because you would think that some of these people that are full grown ass adults would know when they're being hustled. Would know by now that, okay, these people don't give a shit about me. These people are politicians. I cannot tell you, bro, how many people were pressuring me to go and vote. Oh, because this is Georgia I live in. And they're like, well, Warnock and Ossoff. Blah, 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 blah. I said, wait a minute, stop. Stop. When the Democrats had control over the House and Senate, when Barack Obama was president, did nothing happen. They didn't legalize.
Nothing got resolved.
They didn't legalize weed. They didn't free a bunch of brothers from jail. There were no reparations. Nothing happened. And they're like, oh, well, this is, political intrigue, and there was gridlock. There was no gridlock because they had control. And so now, they have a greater share of the House and the Senate again. What's going to happen? So the real question is, what's old Sleepy Joe going to have to talk about when the State of the Union address happens in about 2 months from now? What kind of bullshit is he talking about? All the union is strong. It's not. It's not, man. People are still divided. They're divided because.
I got one for you.
Go ahead.
There's a big problem that nobody wants to address. Too many motherfuckers are voting to get pussy. And let me explain what I mean by that. Right, we got a lot of women who are very opinionated, and I respect y'all. But so many of these guys are quiet because they want to sleep with y'all. So when you tell them to go vote or vote for this person, they ain't gonna speak up and tell the truth because they don't want to offend you. Stop that. If you don't offend some, I cannot apologize in advance for offending somebody. So what I'm trying to tell you is, I got a lot of my brothers like, hey man, I'm down for this. I'm like, for real? What do you know about that? Well, no, man, old girl. I'm like, what's happening is people are letting other people educate them. Nobody wants to be educated on their own. Nobody cares about that. But what they do care about is getting some money and getting some pussy. So they're going to do or vote however they think that's going to. Hey, yeah, I went out and voted. Like my brother just told you. I didn't waste my time voting because when Barack did have the Senate, we didn't get no more. Nothing happened for black folks. What was the difference? Now, here's the problem. When Trump was in there, he got some shit done. And it was bad for a lot of people. Like a lot of this deregulation shit where these companies can remember the big deal was with net when he first got in there was net neutrality. What net neutrality meant was that any company providing internet service had to provide the same service for every website. So now if somebody own like Verizon say they own Hulu, which I don't say they do, but when you stream Hulu on Verizon, you'll get faster times. Shit like that. So as soon as Trump got in there, he started fucking shit up. So the problem with these Republicans and Democrats, Republicans get shit done. Democrats just sit there and just boondoggle, spin around and spin around. They're doing that shit on purpose. They're not establishing anything. They're not making you no more money. In fact, they're raising your taxes. And when I try to say, like, hey, they're raising your taxes, I got black folks telling me that's good. I'm like, well, then how do you start a business? Well, you don't need to start a business. The government should take care of you.
No.
Excuse me?
No. See,
excuse me?
And that's all brainwashing. Again, pimping, man, they are pimping hard. That pimp game is strong, dude. They got these hoes
they
thinking
can't recognize the
they
game
got
being
these
slapping
hoes. They got these hoes thinking that daddy is real good to them when these motherfuckers is living off ramen and Vienna sausages. And they got them thinking that shit's steak.
Here's what drives you crazy. How do the broke people feel sorry for the rich people? That's where we are. Right
Woo! That okay? You know what you're talking about there? Wait. That's the cult of personality. That comes about from celebrity. That comes about from people believing that because a person is a celebrity, that their opinion is valued or better than yours, or holds more weight than yours. But now, see, listen now, for the Christians out there, that is one of the ways that you need to know that you are conducting and being part of idol worship. Idolatry is when you are putting false gods above yourself. But you know what? We're gonna hold the fire on that one because that's a different show. We're gonna hold the fire on that one because I got a lot to say about that one.
Okay, the point I'm trying to make is that you sit here and see these people doing better off than you. That was the point I was making earlier. How come Americans are paying for the pensions for millionaires? All these congressmen, all these senators, and all these people, Nancy Pelosi, all these people are millionaires. And we're still sitting here fitting the bill for them when they retire. We're paying for their health care. That's what drives people crazy. Like, okay, you ain't for socialism for me. I can't have free health care, but you got free health care.
Yes.
That right there, that is the problem that nobody wants to address. It's all this fictitious bullshit that we're fighting over, and they're still sitting there.
They don't have term limits. These senators don't. These motherfuckers can't just keep. They can keep going and keep getting reelected and reelected and reelected. And they are protected class. Nobody wants to speak about the elephant in the room, how these people who
you can't talk bad about somebody. That's who you
will not shake your hand in the street, even though you voted them into office. See themselves miles above you. They see you as the useless eaters. You have to understand the mentality of these people. These people who were lawyers, they are trained liars. If you look at most politicians practice law at some point. Unless they have some unique and compelling story, most of them, 90% of them were lawyers.
You can't trust a lawyer. We all know that.
Yeah. Like, dude.
That ain't ever going to change.
Yeah. They're liars, dude. Like, lawyer is just another way of spelling the word liar. That's it. That's all that is. And these people, see, okay. It goes back to this whole thing of black people suffering. There is so much that is being
money to be made.
No. But there's so many industries that benefit from the plight of black people. And
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Money, they make money from us
correct.
being the way we are.
And one of
I
which
agree.
is politics. Because you have these old tired black people who live through hell, who see some young black man in a suit and say, well, look at him, he's what we fought to be. He's what we aspired to be, and here it is, and now he speaks for us. No, baby, that motherfucker is a criminal in a suit. That motherfucker is a white collar criminal. He is a liar. He will do whatever it takes to keep that job, to get that job and keep that job. And people, they don't, they listen, they see Hillary Clinton and they like, oh, she reminds me of the librarian from my elementary school. That bitch drinks adrenochrome. Okay? That bitch molests kids in Haiti. These people are evil.
Bad.
Wicked. But but you can't tell them that. These people, you have to let them go through this. Like, we can talk about this on a gazillion podcasts, but until a person sees it for themselves, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, of course, like, we're going to continue to do what we do, but people have to
Experience it.
Experience it.
Experience it.
They have to see it for themselves.
See, some things cannot be communicated through words. Some things are an experience. And when you experience, then you change because your understanding is going to grow, hopefully grow. Well, I hate saying the same thing over and over. Here's the deal. They make money because we fight each other. They care more about us fighting. I love watching these old videos of Muhammad Ali because white folks love Muhammad Ali. But Muhammad Ali was always super fucking black. The one thing he said was real deep. He said some really, really deep shit. He said, this is the magic of America, is the hustle of America, is that my great-grandparents, when they were fighting, they were like, we won't see it in our time, but my kids will see it. My kids will see it. Well, then my parents were like, we won't see it in my time, but my kids will see it. So now I'm here like, why is it not here? Because I'm not going to sit here and say my kids are going to see the freedom. I should be seeing it because it was promised to two of the generations of my family. What he's telling you is that, America's not perfect, but let's just keep trying.
Okay,
America's not perfect.
But here's the thing, though. What you're speaking to right there is how they keep changing the latest
hustle.
No. They keep changing the latest model because that car that was a Cadillac is now a Tesla. And it's the same thing.
The next version.
They keep putting it in the window in front of you over and over and over. It's really the same thing. It really is. No. It's electric vehicle, and there's no carbon footprint, and it's actually good for the environment, and no global warming.
You're going to obtain the American dream.
Hey, man.
Next time.
They are running game on you, dude. All they're going to do is change the brand. Or they're going to change the color, or they're going to put leather seats in it, or they're going to just say that, it doesn't burn any gasoline, or they're going to say this and that. They keep moving the goalpost. That's all they keep doing. They keep moving the goalpost. So, okay, fine. Slavery ended. All right, great. And now we're out of Jim Crow, and we can vote. Okay, great. And now we can get jobs, affirmative action. Okay, great. And now we're getting rid of the drug dealers in the neighborhood. No, we're not. Okay, well, fine. Well, now we have medical marijuana. Great. Now we have recreational marijuana. Great. Now we have a black president. Great. Okay, now black president's gone. Now, see, it keeps changing over and over and over. But still, we never got the 40 acres and a mule. None of this shit ever happened. They keep this.
Honey, even in the 40 acres and a mule, there was treachery. Because guess what? What can a mule not do? A mule can't even reproduce. A mule is a hybrid. The whole thing, every part of this
feminized
is tainted. It's all tainted. And the problem is that you want to run out and replace it with something that's either tested to be bad, and that's the other problem. So you want to run out and get a used car now that's fucked up that is going to have problems. That's what when you hear these people ask for socialism and Marxism and all these isms, stay the fuck away from the isms. Fix this ism. Fix this capitalism, nigga. Fix this ism, nigga. Make it work right and hold them accountable. And if I got to beat your ass to get you out of office, trust me, your ass is kicked. But that's the whole problem is that you don't recognize that. Yeah.
Okay.
I get it.
Let me say something real quick. let me say something real quick. So I was having a conversation with my barber, and I was telling him about an interaction that I had with a foreign person, and I told him I had to snap on this foreign dude because he had tried me, and not like physically, but he was talking to me in a way that was as if he was questioning my intelligence, and I snapped on his ass. I said, "Do we have a problem? Do I gotta take you outside and slap your fucking jaw off your face?" And the point I'm making here is that you have to check people. You have to check systems. You have to check governments and organizations. You have to hold people accountable and their feet to the fire. You have to let them know where the line is. You have to let them know that you're only going to take so much bullshit, and after that, it's no more Mr. Nice Guy. Prepare for some gangster shit.
I'm
Because,
gonna give you what you asked
listen, what did dude say in 40-year-old version? He said, "You want nigga here now." Okay?
for.
For real, man. It's like this dude thought like, okay, he could take his style of thinking where he can talk to people however he wants to in this foreign country and then bring that shit here because don't take my kindness as a weakness. That's the worst thing you can do because what's going to happen is I'm going to turn on you, man. I'm going to turn on you and it's going to be in the most explosive, violent way possible.
Vile way possible.
And
Possible.
I don't want
Like
to do that. I like being a nice guy. But see, this is the same thing as America. America just keeps trying your ass over and over and over again.
again.
And motherfuckers only snap every
Charlie
now and
Murphy.
then.
Look,
Darkness.
he's a line crosser. He's a
Habitual line stepper. Habitual line stepper.
line stepper, always stepping on the line. And so but you got to recognize that you got to deal with that person. See, the funny thing about Charlie Murphy, we saw him later on, but Eddie said, I already met the baddest motherfucker ever. It was my brother. So what he's telling you is he was whooping people's ass back then. And that's the whole thing. When somebody crosses the line, they need their ass whooped. Them motherfuckers crossed the line and did not get their ass whooped. And what happened? They threw a tantrum. They fucked up the living room, fucked up the kitchen, and acted the damn fool in front of company.
Listen,
that can't happen.
Them rednecks ran up in the living room and said, "Fuck your couch." They said, "Fuck your couch," not because they were just bold and brash and that's just what they do. It's because somebody held the front door open for them to get into the house.
And let anybody in. Yeah. They showed up at the job interview with a beer. You don't do that. You don't go to the job interview with a beer. But that's what they did.
Right.
And so the thing is, but it's because they held the door open for them. It's because they were going to, the people on the inside thought they were going to make a point. And the point is, them people didn't need to be on the inside. Everybody recognizes that now.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you witnessed on January the 6th in the year 2021 on the steps of the Capitol building was a reverse 9/11. And by that, I mean it was an inside job from inside. Whereas 9/11 was an inside job attacking from the outside. This time it was attacked from inside. Yeah. So
don't fall for it. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Don't. They saw this shit coming, but they let it happen because they thought they was going to make a point, and it bit them in the ass. You know, all these protests aren't good. You know, I get some of the point. Like I told you guys about my experience with the whole Malcolm X Foundation. These protests, some of these protests are positive. Some of these protests are for Black people, but some of these protests are not really on the behalf of Black people. You got to be careful with that's going on. Some of these protests weren't on the behalf of this country. They're on the behalf of one agenda and keeping us separate and making us fight. And hell, this COVID is making us weaker every day. So we got to take the initiative to get back out there, work out, lose weight, and be that motherfucker. Be ready for the summer. This shit ain't gonna last forever. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Peace. Love y'all.
In closing, I want to say, when you see events like this happening on the news, when they see it happening around you, when the adrenaline's pumping and you're in it, slow down. Slow yourself down. Slow it all the way down and be clear and see things as they really are. Because there is something else going on that you're not paying attention to. You're being swept up in the emotion.
Your third eye.
Use your third eye. Use the force. Feel the force. Use your intuition. Be still. Be that calm in the middle of the hurricane, in the middle of the storm. And allow yourself clear discernment even in chaos, because that is true mastery of self. That's what you need to work towards. Don't be fooled by everything you see on TV, like your parents used to say. We out. Peace.